third-party hardware. You either like them or you just don't. I want to be reviewing today a third-party hardware for the PS3 system, and it is Afterglow PS3 controller AP2 model. It's the wireless version. You see with the dongle. So yeah, let's get to it. And as you can see here, this is the PS3 controller, the Afterglow's AP2. This is the model. My end is the color red. I bought the one that glows red. It has many different functions. You can switch the glow on and off whenever you like. You can set it to glow all the time, or it always will shine red. You can set it to only shine red when the controller vibrates. So like, if someone shoots you in like Call of Duty and your controller vibrates, it will glow red for the duration. And you can also just turn it off completely. It's transparent, like you can see the inside, so like if anything goes wrong with the controller, you probably figure out like, oh, it's because like this piece is loose or something like that. And yeah, one concern though is like, if you have cracks, like if you throw around the controller a lot, you're probably gonna break it. It's not really that hard plastic, but it is a hard plastic. But if you scratch it, you will definitely see the scratches on the controller. As you can see, the directional pad and the left analog stick have been switched out to give it like an Xbox 360 controller vibe, which I kinda enjoy because some people really complain about the analog sticks with the regular PS3 controller, and switching them out to give it an Xbox 360 controller is a kind of good thing, I guess, for die-hard Xbox 360 fans who want to get into the PS3 system, I guess. But other than that, it's very good. The battery life on this thing is pretty long. It gave me like around 6 hours of game time without ever having to charging it, and it's pretty pretty out there. It's not, the range on it is not that bad. Other than that, I would say that the transceiver is kind of small. You can see over here the USB dongle works as like a wireless mouse transceiver. It receives signals from the wireless controller. That's how it is wireless, and that's how basically this thing works. And there is also a small hole so you can stick the USB in and out for safe storage, so you won't lose it or anything like that. The USB that charges it is the same thing as a regular PS3 controller, so you shouldn't have too much problem with finding a replacement if like your wire is broken or anything like that. So yeah, those were the basic specifications of this little controller here, and I'll show you why I kind of enjoy this so much. I will show you the pros and the cons. Alright, first things off with the pro side of things. Well, as you can obviously tell, it looks really, really nice compared to this. This looks better. I mean, look at it. This is plain black. This is like 50. This is like 50 bucks or 50 to 40 bucks on GameStop. Well, I'm pretty sure you can find this like much cheaper online. But this, I only bought this for like, I don't know, like half the price. It's only like $20 to like $29. It's really cheap. I bought this on GameStop new. I bought this thing used and it cost me like almost 50 bucks. It's almost like one game. It's kind of understandable in a way, but to me, like, not really. I'd much rather go for this one. But for one, it obviously it looks nice. It does pretty much the same thing what this would do. I don't have any like, there's no like delay or anything with the PS3. Like if I input like a certain thingy-majiggy, it's not gonna do anything to it. Like nothing at all. There's no delay. It's very responsive and it does everything that needs to be done. Secondly, other than it's being cheap and then it looks nice, well, what can you really complain about it? It has, if you're like an Xbox 360 person, as you can see, of course it's switched out, which is gonna be very good because some people, always complain about that. They always complain like, oh my god, the thumb, it hurts so badly. And then they always like touch the thumbs together with the regular and then this one solves the problem with the Xbox 360 design. I mean, if you're an Xbox 360 person and you want to get into the PS3 system, this is like a good third-party controller, you know, to help you adapt in a way. It's just better, I guess. And of course, it glows. It glows. It glows. Look at it. Look at it. Bask in all its glory. It's awesome. I mean, that's all much I could find good about this thing. Now I'm gonna give you to the con side. The con side to this controller. First off, remember how I said it can do pretty much everything that the regular PS3 controller can do? Yeah, I was kind of lying. But not really. This thing right here, you need to plug it into your PS3 system for it to work. It doesn't run off Bluetooth or anything like that. So you're pretty much fucked. And this right here, it's the same charger port as the regular PS3 controller, but the only problem is there's no data off of this. So it's absolutely nothing. All you can do with this is just charge the controller, the battery. That's all it does. You can try and like plug it in, but it won't do anything. It won't read it as a controller. You really have to keep this. So if you lose this dongle, this USB dongle at any time, this is pretty much useless. You know, same thing with a wireless mouse, I guess. Well, it's not too much of a problem, sure, but then there's also the fact that you can't on your PS3 system with the home button. You know, some people are so lazy, they don't want to walk over to their PS3 system and push the power button and then it's gonna on. With people with a regular PS3 controller, you can just press the home button and the PS3 will on. You can't do that with this. You just can't. I don't know why it doesn't work. The other thing about this is that, well, although it's really you know good looking, when I'm playing like a game and I'm watching like a cutscene, the controller will just turn off, like out of nowhere. So let's say you're playing like Resident Evil 5, for example, and you're just watching the cutscene, and then all of a sudden, you know, a QuickTime event shows up, and you're like, oh shit, I have to press that right now. But you can't, because for some reason, it's just off. Like there's like a timer to it. Like if you don't press anything on the controller for like a set amount of time, I'm guessing like a minute or two, it's just gonna turn off automatically. It does that. I don't know, it's kind of bad. Oh, and also for all you tech savvy people out there, you can't use this controller on your PC. I mean, you can technically, but I wouldn't recommend it, because with the regular PS3 controller, you can most certainly connect it to your computer, and using like some other software, you can try to emulate your PS3 controller to be an Xbox 360 controller. Like it will read your PS3 controller as an Xbox 360 controller. So basically, you're gonna be playing on a PC with a PS3 controller that has the Xbox 360 scheme. Now that's what I call multi-platform. This won't work for some reason. Like, it'll read it as a gamepad, which is a really bad thing. The gamepad is reading this as a gamepad is a bad thing. Wanna know why? Because like in some AAA titles, such as, I don't know, Splinter Cell Blacklist, because I tried it on that. That's like one example I could think of. You can't change the controls. I know some tech savvy guys who probably can, but if you're not tech savvy or whatever, if you don't know what to do, you can't change the controls. And wanna know why it's so bad? Well, let's say this is gonna be your shooting button, right? This is to shoot people, the R2 button, right? That's to shoot people in the game, right? With this controller, it's not. This is the start button. You heard me right. This is gonna be red as a start button for some really weird reason. It's gonna be red as a start button. And then the controls are all messed up. Like this is gonna be the A button. This is gonna be the B button. It's all messed up. The start button, you know, doesn't wanna like calibrate correctly and stuff. It just doesn't wanna work properly. But I would recommend, like if you're playing like some games that you can change the controls, yes, I would highly recommend you can use this, because you know it's wireless. Yeah, the only other downside to this thing is that no Bluetooth support. So yeah, no Bluetooth support, and this thing right here is useless. So if you know, again, you lose this, it's nothing. And yeah, overall though, this is a really great product. I really recommend like getting it if you're gonna, you know, give like a present or something to like your cousin or something, your little son or whatever. Yeah, I would really recommend getting this because it's good, it's cheap, it works just as well,
you know. But then I just told you the cons. But other than that, it's a pretty good controller. I would give this like around an 8 out of 10. This is 8 out of 10. Well, that's gonna be my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.